Hello, 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 Dr. Alan Harper again, your secure vibe coder. And I'm here for another live secure vibe coding session. And we are working on this app that we call User Vibes OS. The purpose of this app is to be a one stop shop for developers to gather vibes from their users. And the idea is that anytime that a developer builds an app, they want to be able to receive signals or what we call vibes from their users, whether it's the landing page or surveys that they might put out or a wait list or email list. And ultimately, once they become customers, they're going to want to collect feature requests from those users. So, and then they'll want to collect bug reports, and then ultimately sentiment analysis. Maybe we want to send out more surveys to our users, like maybe randomly when they go to a certain web page, it'll pop up and ask them how are they liking this app. Maybe little smiley faces, or frowns. And the idea is throughout the user journey lifecycle, we want to be able to connect these vibes or collect these vibes from our users, and we want to give those to developers in a dashboard so that they can better optimize their web page and the user experience. Okay, now there's several competitors out here who do bits of this, but nobody's doing all of it. All right, so we're jumping right into the first piece of it here. It's the request feature part. That's the ideate. And if you've joined me here tonight, go ahead and say hello. Let me know you're here, and maybe where you're from. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump into it. We've been at this. This is our 10th session, and so that means about 10 hours we've spent. This is our 10th hour, actually, maybe a little more than that, because some of them we go about an hour and a half. So by and large, though, this is a very early project. And what's cool about it is you can jump on board and you can see us bring this thing to market. Okay. And we've done more in 10 hours than most people could do in about 10 weeks of planning and designing and creating an app. And because we're using AI to do the coding for us. And we're doing that through something that's called vibe coding. And more importantly, we're doing it securely. And so we call that secure vibe coding. And that's what this channel is all about. You can learn about vibe coding elsewhere, but they are not talking about security. And so we are that channel for you to teach you how to do vibe coding securely. And so if you're interested in that, make sure that you like and subscribe. And also check out my QR code up here and the link in the description. You can find out about my free mentoring. And inside of there, you will find some courses that I also make available. One's called a Secure Vibe Code Masterclass, and I go in much greater depth in that course. All right, so let's go ahead and get at it. Taking a look at the architecture of the app, just a reminder, we have a front end piece that the developers will install in less than 1 minute. I used to say 2 minutes, but we did it so quickly last time, I'm going to say less than 1 minute. To install our widget in their web page. And then there will be a landing page where people can sign up. We already have that working. And then they will get a dashboard. And on that dashboard, they can set up an API key. And last time, what we learned is that we need 2 different types of API keys. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we use Convex as the database to keep everything synced up. And it's going to give us also on the back end, we'll be able to have user analytics and feedback and sentiment and stuff. That's the whole purpose of the app. Okay. Now, when it comes to APIs, there are 2 types. We have public and private. Okay. The public ones are, just as the name implies, are going to be out in the public, and they're going to be used and maybe abused by an attacker. So what we can do is we can put some speed bumps up at least and make it painful for the attacker. We can slow them down through rate limiting and different things that we talked about last time. And go back and look at that video if you're interested in that. But there's some things we can do to protect the public API key in some sense, right? We can make it difficult for the attackers. And that's often what we do in cybersecurity is we just make ourselves a hard target, right? And the idea is then they'll go pick on somebody else. And that's kind of like a dirty little secret in cybersecurity. Like there is no such thing as a 100% secure system, and run from anyone who tells you that there is. I certainly would never tell you that. So when I use this word secure vibe coding, I'm using it loosely. What that means is that we're going to harden this system to reasonable degree of difficulty for an attacker to break in, right? And we're going to get it up there in that 1 to 5% of secure systems. And that's pretty darn good, right? So that means you're better than 95% of the websites out there, and maybe 99% if we do it well. And that's the best we're going to be able to do. Anybody who's trying to get it up above that is just kidding themselves and kidding you, right? And it's very expensive to try to close that last 99%. And even then, for a determined adversary, they're still going to get in. Okay, I'm here to tell you. All right, I've written 7 books in cybersecurity. 6 of them are on ethical hacking. The most popular books out there on ethical hacking are my books. And I can tell you that with a high degree of certainty that I would not bet a paycheck on the security of anything. Okay. And now what we can do is we can harden it, and we can make it pretty darn hard. And we can raise the difficulty significantly enough that the bad guys will go pick on somebody else. Because what happens is they have a cost and we have a cost, right? And we're trying to make their costs greatly exceed our cost. And as long as that's the case, then you're relatively secure. Okay. If it's trivial for them to break in and it doesn't cost them anything and you've put a lot of effort into it, then you have a false sense of security, and that's worse than no security at all. Okay, so once again, if you've joined us, drop a hello. 3Ds, are you out there? And who else is out there? All right. Drop me a chat and let me know that you're here. I'd appreciate it. Okay, we're picking up a new stream tonight. We're on Twitch as well. So we're on YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and Twitch all at the same time. So love this platform. If you ever are interested in using a streaming technology, I recommend Restream, which is what I use, and I can get you a link for that if you're interested. All right. Well, hey guys, again, we'll continue on. Enough of that background. Now, what we're going to do is we're on the step right here. We've done all these things up to this point. Now, what we're doing is the test and debugging the rest of the prototype, right? We're installing it on another web page with our API widgets. Right, and we're using the APIs, both the public one and the private one. Now, in terms of the public one, we did talk about that. In terms of the private one, the secret key or the private key, you have to do something different on that. You have to use what's called a proxy route or a proxy service on the back end. So our users are developers, right? And they have websites. And on the website, it's going to be a 2-phase or 2-step widget, if you will, to where the main widget will have the public API key in it, and that's fine. But then on the back end, what they'll do is they'll call another route that will call us with the private key using what's called a Java Web Token. Okay. And so we need to give instructions to the developer to do that 2-step process. If they're interested in the higher level of security, call that tier 2 security. Okay. And so we were working on that last time, just got it start to work and at least not have errors when it came up. We haven't tested it yet, and we're going to get into that right now. Hey, welcome again. If you've just joined us, drop me a hello and tell me you're out there. Make sure I know the chat is working. And also, if you want to find out more about me, check out that free mentoring link up there. Inside of there, you'll find a free course, or it's not free, excuse me. I have a paid course in there called Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. But the mentoring group is free, and there's a lot of value that's given in there as well. And all of this content comes from there, and I go in much depth in there. Okay. All right. So this is what we're building. Again, we're building this app called Secure or User Vibes OS. It collects vibes from the users throughout the user journey lifecycle. And we are focused on the feature request piece here, and we're doing that through APIs. All right, so thanks for joining us, guys. Let's take a look at it. Here's our app. Okay, we built this on what we call a Secure Vibe Code OS. Go back and look at the second video that we did, and you'll see how we installed like a secure baseline so that this thing is already pretty hardened out of the gate. It's already in that top 1 to 5% of websites. And we did that through testing and so forth, and it's all in there. Okay, so now our goal is not to mess that up. All right. And we want to make sure that we keep doing things securely going forward. We've done that through something called Claude Skills, and I built some 30 or so security skills within Claude Code. And these are like special skills that it gives Claude Code, makes it smarter as it relates to cybersecurity. Okay, so that's how we're focused on secure vibe coding here. All right, now on the back end of our app, we have a dashboard. Right now, this dashboard just has bogus data in it. We will fill that in once we have something meaningful to put there. It's just placeholder right now. We have the API keys. And on the API key page, okay, we're getting an error, okay? We didn't find this last night. So let's go ahead and drop this in to Claude Code and get it chewing on that. Okay, so that was the API key page. It's got a bug on it right now. We'll fix that. Okay, and it looks like that's coming through to the dashboard too. Interesting. Okay. All right, we're going to need to let Claude Code figure this out. All right, so while it's doing that, again, drop me a comment, ask any questions that you have in the chat. Love to hear from you. Where are you guys located? Anyone out there? I can see you guys out there, but I just don't see any names. Okay. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. It looks like it's been fixed. Let's go back and see. Okay. Yeah, it looks like the error went away. Let's click on the API keys page. Okay, good. All right. So what we see is we have these API keys. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. We'll create a new one because we did change some of this. Okay, good. Now take a look here. 3Ds, if you're out there, you'll be impressed with this. This is new. Okay, so what we see here is it changed the UV to SK. That's a secret key. We also have a private key. We have a choice here. Okay, we can do public keys or private keys. I actually want to be able to do both. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop back into Claude Code and say on the API key, on the API page, I want the option to generate both public and private keys. And I want to not only say tier 1 and tier 2, I want to say less secure and more secure in parentheses, maybe after the tiers, just to explain the difference between them. Okay. Yeah, we want to be able to produce public and private keys, right? And because we want to give maximum flexibility to our users. And by the way, this is better than what the competitors do. Okay, some of the competitors don't even use the API keys. They just use like a site ID, and that's basically a public IP key or a public key. But they don't even call it a public API key. Which to me is not good. You as a developer need to know the security strengths or weaknesses of what you're dealing with, and we're going to make sure that we're crystal clear, right? Because we're secure vibe coders. We do. That's the way we roll. Okay. Good. So what we see here is it's putting in the code less secure, like I told it to, and then we'll put more secure, and we'll tweak this as we go forward. But I just want to get the basic functionality down. Okay, once again, who's joined us? Drop me a note. Tell me where you're from. Ask any questions that you have. We're building an app called User Vibes OS. We're collecting feedback from users so we can give it to the developers so they can improve their website. We use Claude Code. Claude Code is running, and it's also, hold on a second. Claude Code is creating TypeScript for us, which runs on top of JavaScript. The framework we're using is Next.js. We have a convex database backend. We built all of this on something called Secure Vibe Code OS, which you can find out on GitHub. Looks like this. Secure Vibe Coding, OS. It's a repo that I created Okay, you can find it out here on GitHub. I forked another repo, which was pretty good, but I added all the security stuff to it. And what you get inside of here is you get a full up SaaS app. It's running the very latest tech stack, and it uses Clerk for authentication and also Clerk for billing. That's how we get credit card payments automatically built in. And then we have Convex as a real-time database. We love that. And then I added all of this secure stuff right here. Okay. And I added, like, that's the heart of this framework, or this secure vibe coding OS. All right. And you can find out more about me on this homepage too. So again, come out to GitHub and you can just search for secure vibe coding OS and you'll find this repo. And give me a star there if you come across it and use it as well. I'd appreciate it. That helps it move up in the rankings. Let more people learn about secure vibe coding, right? All right, so it looks like it's done here. Okay, that's what we're expecting to see. And then also, okay, so now it's going to generate both. Okay. Okay, cancel this. Okay. See, it says it'll do both, but this radio here will only do one at a time, so it's not correct. I see an either or in the API modal. I want the ability to do both. So maybe instead of doing a radio button option, add it as check marks and put both of them on by default. Now, what we're going to remember tonight that we didn't remember last night is every once in a while we're going to check the context length. And there's a bug in Claude Code right now where it fills up the context and it doesn't do an auto compact. And we noticed that last night. I actually noticed that a couple weeks ago and just never reported it. But now it kind of bit us last night, because what happens is when you fill up your context with Claude Code, it gets dumber. And it doesn't tell you why it's dumber. It's just like not answering as well, and it's giving you errors and stuff, and you end up chasing your tail. And we did a bit of that last night. And at the end of all that, I realized, oh crap, it's because we filled up our context window. At least that's a good part of the reason. Okay. All right. So it's going to update the modal now. The modal is kind of what pops up. It's like that overlay on the web page. It's kind of the latest and greatest styling. Okay, I think we're done here. And I've given Claude Code instruction that when it finishes to go ahead and run TypeScript compiler check, and see right there it found some errors. I'm glad it did. It's going to go ahead and fix that so that we don't have to run into them later. Okay, there we go. Successfully updated. Yeah, but wait a second. Run TSC again. It says the errors existing are pre-existing issues in other files. I don't care if they're in other files. I don't care if the errors are in other files. I want you to fix them. I've noticed that AI does that sometimes. Like if it's not an error on the file that you're working on, it'll sometimes just dismiss it, like, and that bites you later on. Like you end up carrying it's like a form of tech debt. You end up carrying that around, and that's not good. Like it's going to catch up to you. Once again, guys, if you're out there, drop me a hello. Say hi in the chat. I'd appreciate it. Make sure my chat is working here. I haven't seen anything yet. I see the people out there, but I haven't seen anybody chatting. Drop any questions that you have into the chat. Let me know where you're from. I'm doing this to hang out with you guys, so let's have some interaction. Okay, good. All right. So this is what we want to see. Check marks and are on by default. Okay, so what we're going to get here is two keys. We're going to get a public key, and a secret key. Okay. And as it says, this is less secure. Okay. And this is more secure. Okay. And we'll go ahead and give it a name. Testing 1. And we also told it earlier on, this is part of the speed bump that we're going to put up in front of the attacker, is we're gonna check that the origin came from a certain location. So this will be localhost for now, and we'll add that origin. Okay, we can add multiple origins. Go ahead and get rid of that one. Okay, and actually localhost 3000 is what we're going to come from 3002. Okay, that's where our other web server is running right now. Okay, and then secret key warning. Secret keys must never be exposed on the client-side code. Use them only in the server-side applications with JWT. Store them in environmental variables. Okay, that's good warning. Okay, create the keys. Okay, bingo. All right, so these keys then, we need these keys. Okay, and what we're going to do is, in particular, I'm not sure if it's going to, oh, okay, right here. You won't be able to see them again for security reasons. Yeah, I don't like that. I want to be able to see that them again. This is a technique, but I'm going to tell it not to do this. I want to be able to reveal my keys. It's just more user friendly. This is kind of like uber secure. Like, you only get to see it once. We've seen sites like this, but it's kind of annoying, right? And it's unnecessary. Like, we want to be more convenient than this, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to get rid of that, and then I'm going to tell it, I don't like the fact that we're only showing the keys once and making them copy them off and never showing them again. I want to be able to reveal them in the future like we used to do. So kind of revert that functionality and go back to, the show and hide functionality. Hey, I almost said it over the mic. Hey, Adilsa, good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Okay. Hey, Adilsa, yeah, you would be probably lost, but that's okay. Hang with us. You'll pick up some stuff. You're going to have to go back and watch the previous videos to catch up. You're going to have to binge watch me a little bit. You can kind of put them on, 1.5 speed or something and kind of get through them. But what we're doing here, let me take, while it's cooking on that, I'll just back up a little bit. What we're doing is we're building this app, okay? And this app, we call it User Vibes OS. This app will allow developers to drop a widget into their website and get feedback from their users throughout the user journey lifecycle. Okay, and I've defined those different stages over here. So whether it's on the landing page or surveys that you give them or putting them on a wait list or an email list, or ultimately the one we're working on right now is the feature request, the ideate, because we know the best ideas come from our users, right? So we want to make it easy for developers to collect these vibes or these feedback from the users. So we call this User Vibes OS. All right, and then the way it works is it's got a front end widget that the developer would drop into their web page, and then it communicates through the back end. We have a dashboard, and on that dashboard we can set up API keys. That's what we were just messing with. We also have Convex database, and we can get user analytics and feedback. Okay, so that's an overview of what we're doing. We're using what's called the Secure Vibe Code OS, Vibe Coding OS, that I built and pushed out to GitHub for free. And so you can find that out there. I also teach this in my Secure Vibe Code Masterclass, which you're aware of, inside my free mentoring group. So anyway, that's what we've been doing. We've been doing this. This is the 10th session, so we've covered a lot of ground. And so you definitely, but you can just pick us up from here, and you'll learn some things just by hanging out. Okay. So, all right, we come back to our website. We've got another error here. Okay. By the way, there is a way that you can use an MCP server, and you can let Claude Code see these errors more interactively, but it takes up a lot of context and it's slow. So I find it easier just to copy paste the errors over. I'm just being frank with you. Just pro tip there. Like I've tried the other way and it just chews up your tokens and it's like slow. And tokens are expensive, man. Like it's something like $7 per million tokens or something like. So we don't want to just be wasting them for things that we could just copy paste. Okay, it's just my opinion. But it's still working on some stuff, so I'm not going to give it to it right now. I'm going to let it finish, and if we still have the error, then I'll tell on it. Okay, until then, we'll just let it do its thing. Okay, who else is out there? Somebody else drop me a hello. Tell me where you're from. If I'm not mistaken, I think Adilsa's from the ATL area, if my memory serves me right. And I know we got 3Ds out there. 3Ds, you here? He's been with us since the very beginning, first stream. Maybe he couldn't make it tonight. 3Ds in South Africa. We had people last night from, I think it was Norway. We had some people from Greece. That's right, ATL. And we've had people from California. We have people from all over. That's cool. Okay, all right, so here it says it's done. All right, so let's just see. Let's go ahead and get rid of these ones that we just created because they had the old format in them. Okay, we'll create our first API key. See, like we've created all this over the last 10 sessions. Okay, we're gonna give this a name, testing 2. We're gonna give it an origin, which is localhost 3002. This is the server that we're coming from. Like, so if we're a customer of this site, we're going to set up an API key. They need to tell us what domain they're coming from. And in this case, we're just doing it localhost. Localhost is our local system where it's not out on the internet. Okay, and we can add multiple origins in, which is useful. Okay, then we're going to create that key. Okay, now we come in here and look at this key. Okay, there's the public one. Where's the private one? Okay. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It created them separately in separate entries. Okay, that's not actually necessary. I want those keys created in the same card. Right now you have them separated into a separate public and private key card. But on the API screen, I want both of those in the same card. Okay, who else is out there? Somebody else drop a hello in the chat. Tell me where you're from. Okay. Oh, I didn't hit return. Okay, so we're vibe coding, folks. We're letting AI do the work for us, and we're doing it securely because we always have security in mind. A lot of people out there talking about vibe coding, but nobody's talking about the security of it except for me. So you heard it here first, folks. And if you got other people that you're aware of that are into vibe coding, make sure you tell them about us. Hey, take a moment and drop a thumbs up on this stream. I appreciate it. It helps the channels push it. We're right now on YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and Twitch. So give me a thumbs up wherever you're from, and also like and subscribe. And then if check out my free mentoring in that QR code, but also in the link below, you'll find out about my free mentoring group, and that's where Adilsa and others hang out. And in there, you'll find also a secure vibe code masterclass that I built, and I go into much more depth. And you also have ways that you can get me to come alongside you and help you build your own app. All right, so I have private mentoring groups and stuff that we're in, and even one-on-one opportunities if that's what you need. But you can find out more about that in the free mentoring. So check that out if that's interesting to you. Okay, we're getting toward the end here because we can tell anytime it runs this command, that's the last thing I told it to always do whenever it makes significant changes. So we can see all the stuff in green here it wrote for us. All the stuff in red it got rid of. So it's been busy, folks. It's been busy. Okay. It's just checking the errors. Okay, here we go. Is the final summary. All right, it's telling us to put all that stuff into one card. Okay, yep, and there we see it. It's all in one card right now. Okay, all right, that'll do. All right, so we have one card, and it has the private key and the secret key in it. It was created on this timestamp. Okay, so now we can test using these. All right, we can test using these. Now, I don't like this. This is a remnant of the way that we were thinking about doing it originally. Let's see here. Yeah, this isn't necessary. And in fact, it's confusing. We're not going to do this part right here. Let's okay. Okay. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, my mic stopped working here. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me check this out. Okay, on the API page, we state the above. Remove that. Okay, and what's going on with my Super Whisper? I ran out of my free tier minutes. Don't. That's funny. All right, there was another one that I was going to play with. Let's see here. No, okay, it's trying to do something here. Your standard mode has been selected, but you don't have it downloaded. Hit the download button below. Your mode is the standard model. Okay. Here, get rid of that for now. Maybe it's working again. This is a tool that I use called Super Whisper, and what it allows me to do is talk to the AI model, because I can talk faster than I can type. And so that's a pro tip for you. Okay, what's going on here? All right, so it did that. Okay, all right, cool. Now leave me alone. Let me get back to work. Okay, cancel recording. Okay, and let's see here. Okay, seems to be working again. Let me get rid of this and get rid of that. Okay. Oh, reopen. Okay, all right, it's working again. Sorry for that, guys. Oh, keeps crashing. Maybe it's not working. All right, let's go back and look at the website. All right, we got rid of that bearer stuff. That was kind of the old way that we were thinking about doing it, but we got rid of that. All right, so now what we do is we have a public key and a private key. Now we need to be able to test this out, right? So we need some instructions of how to do this. So what we'll do is we'll just, for example, take this public key here. We'll copy it to our clipboard. And then we're going to go down to our boards here, and we'll go inside of, these are our feature request board. And so this is what it's going to look like on the end site, on the end user's website, right? So we have this board here. It's called a Kanban board. It's very popular in IT circles. And so the idea is we have these tickets or feature requests. So I just put a test one in here, for example, add chocolate dog food. Dogs will love it, but may get sick. All right, so it's a medium priority. It's been voted up. We have a voting functionality for our feature request. We also have comment functionality. Okay, so all that's been working. Like, we did that pretty quickly. You can drag, as an owner, you can drag these across to different boards, like when you're working them and so forth, and show progress. Okay, and but now we're going to go ahead and embed that down on another website. Okay, so here's how we do that. What we're going to do is we're going to install it in an iframe like this. Okay, and what we're going to do is, none of this actually matters, so we're going to end up changing that up. But just to test this, what I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to say, okay, in the let me go ahead and copy this. Okay, and I just want to make sure that this is still working. Okay, give it a second here. It's loading. Let me refresh. Yeah, what it should do is come up and require an API key. So actually, none of these should work currently, and it looks like that's the case. Okay, so what we're going to do now is come back over to here, and we're going to say, okay, now back in the test site A site, I want you to adjust the home page to use the to test the iframe functionality, which looks like this. Paste that in. Then what we'll do is we'll go back and get that key again. Okay, so back on our API keys, and we're going to need this public key. We'll go ahead and copy that. Okay, and use this public key. Okay. Okay, so what I'm telling Cloud Code to do is back up in the subdirectory and go get that other test site that we've been working on. And that's this one over here. Okay, and it looks like this tab right here. Right now it's kind of broken because we've implemented this API stuff. Okay, so now what we need to do is tell it to adjust it. Okay, it also looks like that web page may be down. Let's see here. Okay, give me a second. Okay, and what we can do is check. Okay, let's go in here and run npm run dev. Okay, 3004. Okay, that's going to mess up our API key because we had it on 3002. Let's see if that's already running somewhere else. Okay, 3004. It's all right. We can adjust. All right, we'll just adjust this to 3004. No, it didn't like that. Go back to 3002. Okay, that's running somewhere here on my system. Give me a second, let me find it. Okay, it's not in there. Okay, here it is right here. And this page right here, what we're gonna do is stop this and restart it, hitting Control-C. Okay, restart it. There's our 3002. Okay, and we also have Cloud Code over here, but that's okay. We don't need it for the moment. What I'm gonna do is go back to my other Cloud Code right here. All right, and what we can do is we can get rid of this one. We don't need this terminal. Go back into this Cloud Code and ask it to do its thing. All right, there it goes. Okay, so Cloud Code is still working. It went back a directory, and it went in and found that other directory. This is just a little test website that we set up the other day. Okay, and it's making sure it's looking at that page and it's going to start editing it. All right, guys. Hey, who else has joined us? Drop me a hello in the chat. Tell me you're out there. Where are you from? I'm in Florida, in the United States. Okay. All right, so here it goes. It's making those edits. Okay, so it's going to write an environmental variable over there for us. We'll tell it, yes, go ahead and do that. Okay, it's copying that key in that we gave it. Okay. Oh, hey, Shola, you're in Maryland. That's interesting. I'm from Maryland originally. Spent a lot of time there. Still have family up there. Yep. Glad you could join us. Okay, so it made these changes. Let's go ahead and now see if we can get this up. Let's see. Back to here. Refresh. Okay, and it doesn't look like, well, it's certainly not working right. Let's figure out why. Okay, what I'm going to do is give a screenshot of this and say, okay, all right, okay, something broke. See the screenshot. It is no longer showing the iframes or widgets. Fix that. Okay, right here it's telling us that it suggests that the public key authentication is failing. Okay, let me check the widget endpoint to see what's happening. Okay, good. This is how you debug with AI, right? So you just tell it what's going on, and we're not going to go read any code or anything like that. We're going to let AI figure it out. And it's pretty good at figuring stuff like that out. Now, again, what's happening, in case I lost you, is I have two websites. We have our website. Let's go back here to the drawing. We have our website, which is back here on what we call the server. We have the user's website, okay? And in this case, what we're trying to do is just the very basics. So we put the API key on the client, and we want it to just call directly back to us, the server, excuse me. And eventually, once we get that working, we'll do the more difficult one, which is the two-step one right here. Okay. 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 We used to call it API key. Now we're calling it public key because we're getting more specific. Okay, so it looks like it had forgot to do that before, and now it's updating. I can see like what's changing from API key to the public key. Okay, it's fixing some other errors that it's found. Okay. Running this MPX test here. That's a TypeScript check, and that's the last thing that we always tell it to do. Well, and AI is just doing all that for us, but I just know whenever I see this that it's almost done. Okay, the widget should now show loading properly. Okay, it's not using the public key anymore. Okay, the one that you provided, or it is using, excuse me. It's no longer trying to fetch the API key from the database. Okay, the public key will be validated against allowed origins. Okay, it's pretty tricky stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if it still doesn't work. We'll work through it. Okay, so coming back to this web page. Okay, now we have some real errors that we can sink our teeth into. Okay, so invalid key format. Okay, it should be able to figure that out pretty quickly. Okay, and let's see if these other ones are the same. Yep, they are. Okay, so, all right, that's a nice juicy error that it should know what to do with. So what I do is I just hit copy, and then I'm pasting that in. Let me go back and try it again. Hold on a second. Okay. The other thing I can do is just make sure I click here and then hit copy. Okay, it says it's been blocked because of policy. Interesting. Okay, do this the hard way then. Okay, copy paste that. There we go. Okay, so I give that to Claude Code and let it know that, hey, we got this error here. Okay, it says I see the issue. There's an API key validation check that's failing. Okay, fix it. You do a lot of waiting when you're doing vibe coding. It's still fast. Believe me, it's a whole lot faster than if I were to write all this code. But you do a lot of waiting. So maybe get up, stretch your legs, get a cup of coffee or whatever. Okay. All right. We're making progress, y'all. All right. So again, we're on our test site here. This is like a third-party site, right? This is one of our customers. It comes to us. They want to install this widget. The widget allows their users to submit or feature requests. All right, so let's go ahead and add another one. So there's one in here already for, add chocolate dog food, and we can vote that up. We can put our name and our email address, and we can vote that up. So now there's 2 votes on it. We come on the back end, what we should see on this board, we could see the vote right here went up to 2. And that's part of our real-time database using Convex, all right? So we made huge progress here. All right, so let me go back and just show you. So again, we have our users can set up multiple feature request boards for their website, right? So this will be 3 websites that they have, for example. And we're looking at one of them, which is over here, okay? And what we did was the user, just for testing, on the homepage of this site, we added just the feature request in a widget up here. And then we put a roadmap, which is a read-only view of that. See, when I try to drag this, it doesn't go anywhere. It's read-only. So it gives you a read-only view of the whole board. So the purpose of this is so imagine you've been to a website and you wanted to submit a feature request and you didn't have a place to submit it. Maybe you emailed them and said, hey guys, why don't you add a button here to do something? Well, now what they can do is they can put a widget out on their website and just maybe a menu option or something that says feature request, right? And it will, when they click on it, it will look like this. And all of this is color coordinated, by the way. The developer sets all this up on the back end. So for example, on the back end, they can go into this board here. See how it's pink, right? And what we can do is we can come over here over to settings, and we could change the primary color to something else. Let's just say we want it to be green. Okay. We can update the branding. Okay. And then what happens is we come back to our feature request here. We'll see now the primary color is green. This is so you could tell them apart. By the way, Claude Code did all of that for us. We didn't even ask it to do it. Go back and watch those previous videos. It's amazing. All right. So anyway, this is what it looks like on the back end of our app. But on the front end of the app, they have this submit idea button that turned green just instantly. And that's all because of we're using Convex. This is why we love Convex database, right? It just handles all this for you. AI handles that database for you. We had to set it up. It took all of like 5 minutes to set that thing up on like the second video. And since then, it just gets handled by AI for us, right? So we don't have to worry about it. We just know we have a database. We can store settings like from the users, colors, choices, all of that. And that's amazing, right? We have a fully functioning feature request board here. And most importantly, it's passing the API key back. Now, let me show you something here. I'm going to right click here and I'm going to inspect. And then I'm going to come down and show the source code. And probably, let's see here. No. Probably easier for me to right click here and say view page source. Okay, so on this page right here is all the source, but notice how it's not word wrapped. Okay, now what we can do is we can click this and it word wraps it, but still it's a junk. This is called minified, which is basically a way of obfuscating it to make it kind of hard to read. Now, but what we're looking for is our public key, and I can see it right here. I can see it right there. So our public key is exposed on the client end, and that's okay. That's why it's a public key. You should never see a secret key here, though. That would be a security violation. All right. Hey, thanks for scanning that QR code. I can tell somebody did that. Appreciate that. Find out more about my free mentoring inside the group. Hang out with Adilsa and others that are already in my free mentoring group. Inside of there, you'll find what's called a Secure Vibe Code Masterclass. And people have signed up for that. They go to the next level. You can also, and I will then start to help you develop your own app, okay, when you go through that process. All right, but I just wanted to demonstrate to you, like, this is what the source code looks like, but who cares? Like, now that you've seen that, you never need to look at it again. I didn't want to scare you or anything. I just want you to see what's underneath the hood of all this AI stuff. Okay, so look at this. We have like this feature request submission form, if you will. It's a nice little interface that allows someone to submit an idea. This is how they submit it. I'll put second idea. And this is a test. And I have to give a name and a proper email address. And we, like in the third video, we fixed this. So like if you just remove that dot there, it's not going to take it. Like it has to be a .com, a .edu or something. And then what you could do is you could submit the idea. And then when you put the idea in, then you can also, people will come and put comments on it, right? And you could put your own comment and you could say, hey, vote this up. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this panel down here. And this is what it looks like on the end user site. And it says, hey, vote this up, right? And you post this comment. And what happens is that comment is pending approval. Now on the back end of the server, when we go in here, we can see now all of a sudden we have a pending approval comment where they said, vote this up. And I say, no, I don't want that comment going in there, and I can reject it. Okay, and what happens is that gets rejected and it's hidden at that point. Now, back here on this end, you see that it's no longer it's no longer under approval, but it also didn't get accepted. All right, so it didn't, the public won't see that comment. So we have what we call comment moderation turned on. Now, the reason why that's turned on is in the settings of our app over here on the settings page, we actually have an option down here that turns on moderation of the comments. If we toggle that off, then there is no more moderation. So see, this is a pretty sophisticated app, and we vibe coded this thing up in about 10 hours. It's amazing. Typically, it would take a developer team like probably about 10 weeks to get to the point where we are, honestly. And we did it in 10 hours, guys. Come on. Like, this is amazing. And this opportunity is right here available for all of us right now. I think everybody listening to my voice has an app inside of them. And I'm all about trying to get that app out of them, but securely, right? If we're going to do this, we need to do it securely. Yes, AI can write this app for you, whatever the app is. Like, it doesn't have to, like, some of you might think this is a boring app, right? Well, like, there's an app that you're interested in. I promise you, if you think about it, you start ideating with AI, you can find out what that app is, whatever your dream app is. And you probably have multiple apps in you. And it's probably going to take multiple apps for you to actually practice this and get good enough at it, brave enough at it, that you'll actually release this thing out into the wild. But I'm here to come alongside and help mentor you to do that. And most importantly, to do it securely. Okay, a lot of people out there talking about vibe coding, but nobody I have found has even mentioned security, which is ridiculous, right? So these apps are out there being written and they're just going to get hacked. And that's the last thing you want, right? You'd be out of business as quickly as you're in business. All right, so we're going to do it securely, and we're going to prove that that can be done on this channel. And I'm going to stick with this till we launch this app and make some money, right? So you guys come along for the journey and hang out with me as much as you can. I know that they're long sessions, but like, you got to put the reps in, you got to get the knowledge, right? And this is the best way I can give you the knowledge, is just to show you, right? So now you get to look over my shoulder, hang out, see how I work through issues. And that's part of the process, right? Like, you need to work through these errors whenever you get them. And a lot of these courses, they leave you lacking in that area, right? And I've been through my share of courses, and at the end of it, you're just, you're dangerous, but like, you don't know how to work through like the issues. And my goal is to help you work through the issues, right? I've seen it all before. I'm not intimidated by any of these errors or issues. And I know AI is capable and worthy to figure it out. You just got to know how to ask it, right? And so that's what we do here, guys. We build secure apps. What you witnessed tonight is we had this app out on the client side here, and it's working now, and it's using a API for security to come back, so that we make sure that only this board is showing up on the end user, not like some other person's board, right? And that's a basic security feature in and of itself, right? Now, there are other aspects of this page here. We also showed the roadmap, okay, and that's just, we called that in a separate manner, and we can see that over here under the embed instructions. The first part here, that's what we were looking at. The second part is this roadmap view. Okay, it's a read-only, it's a view-only Kanban board, and we saw that, right? Now, the third part down here, what I was showing you at the bottom of the screen, is still not working. And it is showing, let's see here, right here. I'm getting a widget error because this bottom one is still not working, okay? Now, what that is, that's a web component view. So let me come back over to here real quick, and we're gonna just try this. If we can't make much progress on it, then we're gonna come back to it tomorrow, because we're getting to the end of our time and I've held you long enough. But we have this web component view here, and that should show up. Let's see here, hold on a second. I'm gonna take this and feed it to Claude Code. Okay, the first two sample widgets on the home page are working. Well done. Always be nice to your AI, because someday they're going to be in charge, right? So last thing you want to be doing is cussing out your AIs. I see people doing that. Like, yeah, that's not smart. All right. Well done. So now the third one is still broken. It is testing the web component install on our embed page and instructions like this. and paste that in. Fix it. Okay. Let's see how well it can do now with this separate format. Okay, now the difference here is the first one was using iframes. Those are kind of easier to implement. This right here is a little bit more sophisticated. Okay, it's using a JavaScript and it's using something called a web component. Okay, and so, but Claude Code should know how to do that. Okay, it says it needs to rebuild the web component. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Okay. See, we're putting that API key in there, the public key. Yeah, that was a pretty significant bug that we worked through there. And this is the core functionality of the site after all. Like if we can't get this API functionality working, like we have no feature requests. Like this is what we came for. Again, we're 10 hours into this and we've already done more than a normal developer without AI would take 10 weeks to do. Okay, I can't overemphasize like how significant that is. That means if you are a developer right now, and I know I have some listening to me now, you should be able to do 10 times more, even 100 times more. Okay, like that's not 10 times more, that's 10 times 8 more, right? That's 80 more, 80 times more you should be able to do. That means you can make 80 apps in the time that it would take you to make one. Surely one of them apps is going to make you some money. Okay, so it's just a matter of shots on goal, right? Shots on goal like Jordan or Kobe, right? Like the more shots you're taking on goal, the better your chances are to score. And that's what AI allows you to do. It's the ultimate leverage of your time is using AI. Again, if you're new here, check out the free mentoring and the QR code also in the description below. Take a moment and hit the thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. That helps the algorithms know that you guys like this content and that you stuck here with me. I see a great number of people here on the call with us. I appreciate if everybody just gave me a thumbs up wherever you're at. And also check me out. I'm live streaming simultaneously on YouTube, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and Twitch. So no matter where you're at, like maybe go to the other channels and find me as well. If you like those channels and just subscribe there, I'd really appreciate it. Trying to get the word out. We're trying to help people do this securely. There's far too many people out there vibe coding and they aren't even mentioning security. And that just breaks my heart, right? I've got 36 years of experience doing it securely. I've written 7 books on this topic. Just Google me, Dr. Alan Harper. You'll find me all over the place. Like I've been there, done that in cybersecurity. But this is the new challenge for me, is to help the world get these apps out there with AI, but do it securely, right? So I want you guys to come along on this journey. That's why I'm doing these live streams so that you can learn. I want to build an army of people who can do this because I can't secure them all. And there's a lot of money to be made securing these apps, by the way. Okay, spoiler alert. Like this is a very high paying skill that I'm teaching you here. Very high paying. Just to give you an example, I recently sold a $200,000 app that I wrote with vibe coding. And I have another one in the works that's $33,000. It's going to take me about 20 hours worth of work. 20 hours for $33,000. Like you do the math. That's a lot per hour. Okay. Like these are high paying skills that I'm teaching you here. I hope you appreciate that. I'm giving it away all for free. You guys can do this. Like we haven't looked at any code tonight. Like, yeah, I've scanned some stuff and read some things while I was flying by, but like I didn't stop and try to explain it to you. You don't need to know it. You just need to know that you trust that AI is doing it for you. But then you're going to verify. So we trust but verify. Okay. We're going to verify and doing security testing. We're going to get to that here soon. Okay, come back to our test page here and come down here at the bottom. Authentication, please provide a valid public key parameter. Okay, so I'm going to show this to Claude Code. It's close. Like we don't have an error anymore, but it's somehow not passing that key through. Okay, so let's go ahead and like let it chew on that. Okay, this should just take a couple more minutes, and if it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and call it a night. And we'll be back tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to be coming back at 8 o'clock Eastern. That's New York time. I was at 8:30 this morning or tonight. I had something else going on. We did a Bible study here at the house. But tomorrow I'll be here at 8. So tune in if you can. Okay, so yeah, now it's fixing it. Sometimes you want to say, why didn't you do that the first time? It's because it's AI. The same thing is true with security. Like it knows how to do it securely, but it won't often do it because it doesn't know you want it. Like it's kind of weird. I think that'll improve over time, but until then, we gotta make it more secure. Okay, it says it's done now. We'll see it. I believe it when I see it. Refresh. Loading widget. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so this is just a test site, guys. But I have the widget up here. It has 2 ideas on it. I have the roadmap in the middle, and then I have down below a whole different way of calling it, a more sophisticated way, because we want to give our users like flexibility. And all of these are using APIs. We know it because the backend won't accept it without an API key. So this is more secure. It's not as secure as it can get. We're going to do that next time. We're going to do the 2-step tier 2. Okay. And what I'll do is just make a comment here to remind myself to do that. I'll put here tier 2. Okay. And we will then get at this tomorrow night. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for, spending this time with me and trying to learn this very valuable skill. I appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Until then, be blessed by the best. And